This is more of a commentary video. I'm not sure how everybody else is feeling. We're getting towards the end of the year. We're 2/3 through the year, I think. This year I have not had a whole lot of motivation. I've had a problem with procrastination. Queen of procrastination here. If I can put something off until last second, I seem to be more inclined to do that this year than I have in years past. I would say that my goats, I don't know, maybe they're feeling a little neglected. They're not. They're fed. I feed my goats very well. I take care of my goats. They get medical care. I had one that was cheeking his food, and I rushed him to the vet because I couldn't figure out what was wrong with him. I thought he had a swollen jaw, and no, he's just shoving all his food into his cheek instead of swallowing it to chew it up out of his rumen. He'd just like put it in his cheek and save it for later. Strange goat. I haven't put as many videos of my goats as I had planned on doing. Sorry. I had planned to put a video a week of them out. I think I've maybe put 5 videos this year. I don't know. I have no excuse other than it's not that I'm depressed. I just cannot get my act together. I don't know what else to say. And it seems like I've talked to a lot of other people, for whatever reason that they've encountered is that they just can't quite get it together. My closest friend, I go over to her house and I thought it was just me just lacking on my general day-to-day tidy of my house. And her house looks just as bad as mine, if not worse. And I asked her, I said, so why are we doing this? And she says, I don't know. She says, I just don't feel like doing this. I come home, I walk in the door, and it's like, oh, I'll do this in a few minutes. And I go in and I sit down and I think, oh, I should get up and do stuff. And it's like 2 or 3 hours later. It's like time warping or something. It just losing all track of time. I go over to my mom's and once again, it's like, Mom, how can you haven't done your dishes or anything in a week? She says, I know. I don't know why. I look at them and they think, oh, I got to do those. But I'll do those in a minute. I'm going to go do such and such instead. And she says, I'll come back to it. And it's like 2 or 3 days later. It's like, oh, shoot, I meant to do my dishes. Yeah. Normally I cook dinner almost every night. I'd make dinner for Steve and I. Sometimes I'd invite my mom over. It used to be Steve's mom when she was living with us. She'd come over for dinner. No. I can honestly say I cook maybe 1 meal a month. That's embarrassing to say that because I like to cook. And I prefer food that I've made because I know what's gone into it. I know what I've done. You know, I know where the food has come from. I know what seasonings. I know how it's been treated. I know that it's been, I don't know. I would say that Steve and I, maybe it's because he has a different schedule than I do now. I would say that at least 5 out of 7 days of the week, I go eat dinner with Susan and we go out to dinner. Can't afford to do that. It's not like I have unlimited amount of money. I'm not saving money by doing that. And I go out to dinner with my mom. It just seems easier to eat out than make food and have to clean my kitchen. I don't know why. I wouldn't call it depression. Maybe it is a phase of depression, and I have posted about depression before. depression has many, many faces, and it just, I don't know. I asked my sister, and she says she's pretty much the same way. Things that you would normally do on a daily basis are put by the wayside. And it seems like almost everybody around me is going through this year. Where stuff they would normally do and keep up on, not happening. I feed my goats every day. I used to spend at least 2 hours with them every day. I'd go down there after I get off work and hang out with them and visit with them and give them loves. And as of late, I don't spend the amount of time with my goats that I used to. They're still loved. I still go down there. I will spend a few minutes with them. I generally, our driveway, we go in our driveway, I circle down past the pasture, and I come back up to the house and park. So I'm facing the right direction to go out the gate in the morning. So generally when I pull in, I go down there. I stop down by their pen. I get out, go in and visit them, give them all some loves and pets. And then when I'm done loving on them, I go up to the house, and then later in the evening, a couple hours later, I'll go down and feed them, and I spend another hour or so with them, giving them love before I feed them. But used to be I'd get home, go down there. I spend like 2 or 3 hours down there just brushing them and trimming their hooves and whatever was necessary that they needed done. And with 20 plus goats, there was always something to do. There's always something to do. Their pen is not as immaculate as I have kept it in the past. I used to water their grass every day, and right now I have no grass in their pen because I'm not watering the grass every day. And there's no excuse for it. I have the time. I just don't have the energy. And a friend of mine says, well, if you don't have the energy, why don't you get rid of your goats? My goats are what keep me happy and sane. If I didn't have my goats, I might hurt somebody. No, I say that jokingly, but I have taken in a few rescues this year. One in particular is a big black cat. He's a heartbreaker. People said, oh, well, he'll make a good barn cat. We're moving out of state and we need him to have a home. Okay, fine. I need a barn cat. I can't put him in the house with my other cats. And this cat, my neighbor across the street came over to evaluate him because she used to work for a shelter. She said, this cat has not been outdoors. He is so afraid. I have him in my barn. Yeah, I had the barn built this year. I finally got it built. Now I just gotta build the inside of it, and I haven't got around to that. My big plans were, I'll just, put in some hours after work, and on my time off, I'll build up the barn. I think it was built in March or April. I still only have the shell of it. I don't have anything done inside. I have not set up pins. I had it, the guy's supposed to come out and do the wiring. Maybe that's part of it. I'm down to the wire. I have like 3 weeks to finish getting the barn ready for the goats to move into the barn for the winter. They were supposed to have been moved into it by April. It didn't happen. It hasn't happened. I just lack motivation. I am the queen of procrastination. This is not a fun video to watch. It's me rambling. Every once in a while, I don't know. Maybe it is another face of depression. Maybe our society is depressed. Maybe it's the state of affairs of just everybody just feels, I don't know, it sounds so defeatist to say, well, with the way this, State of the Union's going, what difference does it make? Why bother? I feel like that sometimes with politics. They do make you feel at some point, whether you're you or me or just about everybody at some point feels like, why am I even bothering to try? Our government has greater plans in mind. They think they're acting in our best interest. They're not always. I don't agree with how the politicians run things. My mom says, well, you just get out there and vote. I don't feel like my vote matters. And that kind of maybe plays into a lot of why I haven't gotten things done. It's just, I feel like, why am I even bothering? It just doesn't seem to make a difference one way or the other. It does. It does make a difference. I know it does. I keep telling myself that, because if I don't know. I'm hoping that everybody else is getting things done somewhere out there at some rate of speed, because I sure am not getting things done this year. And maybe it is coming back to me having my neck surgery. Ever since I had it done, I have gotten diddly squat done, honestly. My goat pen, which I kept immaculate for the most part, I'd go out there and I'd clean it 2 or 3 times a week. I'd clean their goat house. Like, I'd make sure that I would clean it out at least once a week, where it was completely clean, top to bottom, in the goat house. I think the last time I cleaned it was over a month ago. I just keep adding more sawdust to it. I need to get out there and shovel it. I hired a girl to help me with it. She worked for me for about a month and a half, and then just disappeared off the face of the earth. Absolutely delightful girl. Absolutely delightful. And disappeared. Don't know why. I was paying her more than what she was asking for. She wanted she says, oh, $15 an hour. I was paying her $20. Granted, it's not a lot more. Plus, I treated her to dinner or whatever. Once again, in conversations with her, she would tell me, I just don't know why. I just don't feel motivated to live life. Not like depression, not living life, but she said she'd get out of bed to go do something, and I'll just sit here for a minute. 4 or 5 hours later, it's like, well, I'm not going to get that done today. I give up. I'm doing that today. Maybe I'll get it done tomorrow. I find myself doing a lot of that. My friend Susan she says she walks in her house and with plans to do something, and she's, I'll just go over here and sit down for a minute. 4 or 5 hours later, it's like, well, where'd the time go? Not getting it done. My mom, same thing. My sister, she says she's having the same problem. So maybe it's just people around me are having that problem, or maybe everybody's having that problem. Love to hear back. Is everybody else just feeling not inspired to really get things done in life? I look horrible this morning. I have wet hair. Off to work. Hopefully this will pan out to another opportunity within my work. Had a really easy summer for work. Was in a different job category all summer for my work, which has been very, very nice. It's been very easy on my body. My body seems to be failing me on top of everything else. Maybe that's part of why I'm not feeling as motivated as I should be. And I just hate to say it, I just feel like, what difference does it make if I get anything done or not? It sounds so negative to put it that way. I don't know. I'm just rambling. This is not a fun video. I'll probably delete it and try recording a different one.